Hello, my name is Rebecca and welcome back to ECS Coffee. This is the showdown between the Jura E8 and the KitchenAid KF8. These machines are quite similar in both what they offer and some of their other features in how they brew beverages, but they do have quite a few differences. So we're going to take a look at both of those things, what's similar, what's different, and maybe it'll help you decide at home which one is better for you and your household. So let's have a look at the Jura E8 first. So this is a super automatic or fully automatic espresso machine. You're going to have an integrated grinder up top with the grind adjustment just on the back as well as the bypass chute. This has the Professional Aroma Grinder 2 Plus. Such a mouthful, okay? Essentially what that means is the grinder is sharper than previous versions. It's faster, so that's going to give you a more consistent and quieter grinding. So you're going to be able to get fuller flavor from the espresso, and it should extract a little bit nicer as well. And the volume in terms of noise will be lower. You'll have a color display screen on the front with buttons on the side to navigate through the menu and select which beverages you want. This machine does have a 2-liter water reservoir and it's located on the side, so you can lift up the flap on the side to fill it, but the tank is also fully removable from the front, so you can lift it up and pull it forward, which is very easy. If you needed to move this machine at all, it's not on wheels or anything, so you just kind of have to shimmy it out and then shimmy it back. We're gonna have dual spouts on the front. So all of the coffee beverages on this machine are going to pour out of the center spout. So that'll be like espresso, Americano, coffee, anything like that. But if you're brewing any kind of beverage that has milk in it, so cappuccino, latte, espresso macchiato, it's going to brew from this side over here. So you have a spout for milk and then you have a spout for coffee behind it. So everything will come out together, or not necessarily not together, but it will come out the same spot into your mug. In the front here, we also have a designated hot water spout just between the two coffee spouts there. So that spout gets used when you're brewing an Americano or if you're doing just hot water. This is the milk frothing function for, or system for Jura. So this uses just a little rubber tube with a miscellaneous external container. So we're just using a little like ECS cup today. So the milk will get sucked up, steamed, and then spat out into the mug. So on the Jura E8, you're not going to have user profiles to be able to program and save your beverages into. However, you are able to program and save all of the beverages that the machine has programmed, and then you can adjust those preferences on the fly as well. So that's either like, that's like right as you're brewing. So as the espresso is kind of going and as it's grinding, you can increase and decrease strength, volume, same with the milk and everything like that. It's very, very easy to use. Juras are always very easy to operate. However, you're not going to have those profiles if you are somebody that has multiple users in the household. This machine does have the capability to connect to the Joe app. You'll just need to purchase the Wi-Fi Connect separately and then be able to connect via that way. All right, so now we're gonna move on over into the KitchenAid. All right, so the KitchenAid. KitchenAid is also a fully automatic or super automatic espresso machine. It is also going to have a water reservoir located on the side and the bean hopper and grinder located on the back with a bypass chute. This grinder is removable. The bean hopper is swappable, so you can lock it, remove it, put in a different bean hopper if you want to with different beans in there. Very easy to do, and it's nice and sealed too. This water tank is removable only from the side, so you can't pull it out forwards. It has to be from the side. But luckily, this machine is on wheels, so you can kind of roll it forwards and backwards. On the KitchenAid, the KF8, you're going to have a color display touchscreen to be able to navigate through the beverage menu, programming, and toggle between your 6 user profiles that this machine will have. So it's very, very easy to operate, and it's also extremely quiet. We're going to do a comparison in terms of sound and the noise level of these machines so you can hear the differences, because these are two of the quieter super automatics that are on the market right now. The KitchenAid is very well insulated in the grinder, but the Jura has a very fast grinder, which does decrease the sound. And since the burrs are sharper, that also decreases the sound because it's not like kind of grinding them up. On the KitchenAid, you're going to have a similar milk function and milk system as the Jura, but you'll notice we only have one place to put our cup. So this is where all of the beverages are going to come out of. So you have milk spouts in there, you have coffee spouts in there, and then you also have a designated hot water spout right in the center. One of the really cool functions and features that this KitchenAid has, though, is that it can brew 2 milk beverages at once. Now, if you've watched our review, you've probably already heard me mention it, but I'm not aware of any other machines right now on the market that can do that. We definitely don't carry any machines at all that can do 2 automatic milk beverages at once. This will be the only one. There is another KitchenAid that can do it as well, but in terms of these machines here, just this one, not this guy here. All right, so we're gonna make some coffee now. So we're going to brew some cappuccinos on each machine. So we'll brew it on the Jura E8, listen to how loud it is and watch it function. And we'll also make some adjustments to the beverage as well. We're going to program and save the cappuccino, and then you'll be able to see how you can adjust it on the fly as well. We'll do the same on the KitchenAid. So we'll program it ahead of time, and then I'll show you how you can kind of adjust things right before you brew if you wanted to make those changes. Now, remember that the Jura only has one way to brew the beverage. You can only program and save one way. On the KitchenAid, you can program and save multiple ways because you have the profiles. So we're going to go to the Jura first. All right, so we're going to select our cappuccino. So we'll just need to scroll through the beverage menu a little bit, and then here we are with cappuccino. I'm going to click and hold the button that's beside this beverage to bring up our programming settings for the drink. There we go. Now we're going to go into product settings. We have a ton of strength settings to choose from. We have 10 total, so that's a whole whack of them to select from. So I'm just going to increase the strength all the way. This machine will grind up to 16 grams so that all the beans are lit up, which means it's going to grind the maximum amount, which is 16 grams. Now I'm going to use the top buttons here to navigate through the rest of my selections. The volume is at 3 ounces, and that's going to be for coffee, so I'm going to put that down to 1.5. Temperature is on high. I will leave that, but you could adjust it down to normal or low if you wanted to change it. The amount of milk foam. Now this is something that's very specific to Jura, but they do it in seconds. So it's going to steam for 14 seconds. I'm going to increase that. I'm going to leave it at 14 actually, and then we'll kind of gauge how much milk that was, and then we'll replicate that over on the KitchenAid. Now I'm going to select whether I want this beverage to be programmed and saved with an extra shot, meaning it's going to grind an extra shot of espresso, or if I want to program and save it to use the bypass chute. I'm not going to select either of those things, so I'm just going to select save. Now our cappuccino is saved and I can go back to my regular menu. So now we're going to brew our cappuccino. All I need you to do, if I want to use the program settings that I did on this beverage right now, is just click the button beside cappuccino and it's just going to grind and brew for me. However, if I wanted to adjust things on the fly, you'll see it on the screen pop up. It's just going to be there for a moment, so you have to be really quick and make sure you catch it. So I'm going to select cappuccino, and then it's going to grind and brew my whole beverage. So you can listen to it here. Do you hear that little puff of air? We'll talk about that in a second. Going to do our milk first. Oh, shoot. You have to make sure your cup is on the right side. That's step 1. I didn't do that one. And now it's going to brew our espresso that it already ground. So we heard the grinding and now we're hearing the brewing. Now we have our cappuccino from our Jura. So it's got some really nice milk foam on there. So this one poured the milk first and then it brewed the espresso over top. So we'll replicate that on the KitchenAid as well. So we get this same or similar result. Really nice. Okay, the Jura will not have a heating tray up top for your mugs. The KitchenAid will. So as this machine is on, it'll start to passively heat the cups if they were on top. So this is the cappuccino from Jura. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a taste test first. The Juras make really nice milk foam. That is one of the things that they have done really well. This looks like a very beautiful cappuccino. It's good. It's very, very yummy. The foam is very dense. Oh my God, I have a little bit of a milk mustache going on. That's very tasty. I'm just gonna set it off to the side, and now we're going to brew on the KitchenAid. All right, so on the KitchenAid, what we're going to do is go to our profile, and we are going to actually go to my profile and go to Rebecca. Now I'm going to add a beverage to my profile, and I'm going to select cappuccino. So here we have all of the things that can be programmed in the beverage of cappuccino. So it's a lot, and it gives all of it to you at once, which makes things a little bit easier to program. I'm going to increase the strength and go all the way up. I believe this guy taps out at about 16 grams as well for maximum amount of beans being ground at once. And now I'm going to change my temperature. The Jura was set to high, so I'm going to change KitchenAid to high as well. Body is set to medium, but I'm going to increase that to strong. Milk first, because that was the same way the Jura did it. Milk type is dairy. On this version or on this super automatic from KitchenAid, you can select whether you're doing plant-based or regular milk. Coffee volume is 1.4. That's relatively similar to what we had programmed on the Jura, which was 1.5. The milk volume, I'm going to put that up to about 4.2 ounces, and that should be relatively similar to what we had from the Jura. Now I'm going to save my beverage, but you could do 2 cappuccinos at once. What you would do is select the ×2, and then you'll have 2 cappuccinos. Very, very easy. I'm going to select this check mark to save my settings and click OK. So that's how you would program and save the beverage from scratch, kind of. But if you needed to adjust anything before you're brewing, you do have that option as well. So all I would need to do is click on cappuccino and then just kind of change anything in here that I wanted to. And then I could click play. Since we've already programmed everything, I'm just going to select play, and that's going to have the espresso machine do everything for me. Grind, brew, steam the milk, all that good stuff. So here we go. Espresso is grinding. There we go. I'm not too sure which one was quieter, but the KitchenAid didn't have that puff of air that the Jura did. The Jura has that puff of air to puff out, kind of like how a bellows hopper would work. Puff out all the extra grinds that are stuck in the burrs so that you don't need to adjust your grind size while the machine is grinding, which is typically what you would need to do and what we always recommend. So that just kind of gets rid of it all, minimizes the risk of you clogging your grinder. This machine is now brewing. So it's steaming the milk first. And if it gets to be too much, I'm just going to pause it. Perfect. I think we have the right ratios. I think that they're going to be pretty much the same. That's awesome. And now this machine is going to start brewing. This has a really beautiful light on the front display here. I think it adds like a sophistication to the machine, which is really nice. There we go. Perfect. So we've got 2 cappuccinos now. KitchenAid does this like little chime at the end of the brewing, which I really like. It's so subtle, you can kind of hear it here. But it's almost going to like if you walked away from your machine and you heard this little chime, you'd be like, oh, my coffee's done. You could run back and grab it. It's just kind of cute. Okay, cappuccino and cappuccino. The Jura's foam is a lot more dense and it has a lot more foam in it. The KitchenAid, the foam is still really nice. It's still very nice, like almost micro foam, but it's not as much foam. So if you want like an extra foamy cappuccino, the Jura is going to do a better job of that for you. So cheers. This is the cappuccino from KitchenAid. These have the same beans in them as well. Not so much looking at what the flavor is. These guys do produce a very similar flavor output in terms of coffee and all of that stuff. So it's more about the milk here, which it's delicious. Yeah. The Jura though, the foam is nicer. The milk is nicer. Yeah, the Jura has nicer milk foam for sure, but the flavor is still really good from both, and both of the machines are obviously extremely quiet. Okay, so both of these machines are fantastic. They're both extremely quiet, and they offer a very robust beverage menu. They both also make really good coffee. Like, the quality that you get out of either of these machines is fantastic. But which one is right for you? So the KitchenAid offers you more stuff in the machine and more programming with a little bit of an easier to navigate programming menu since it's laid out all right there for you. However, if you're not a fan of touchscreens or you're not going to need the user profiles, then that might just be a little bit of overkill for you. With the Jura, you're going to be able to change things on the fly and not override any programming settings there at all. And you do have more strength selections to choose from as well. So what the Jura lacks in maybe some programmability and user profiles and things like that, it makes up for in the quality of the coffee that it puts out. In terms of super automatics, the Jura really does make the best espresso flavor and the best milk foam. That's not to say that the KitchenAid doesn't make absolutely delicious and fantastic beverages, but if you're after that super high quality espresso at the press of a button, the Jura is going to be the way to go for you. Let's talk about price as well, because that's often a really big factor in deciding which machine might be right for you. The Jura E8, the new one, the 2024 version, is going to be priced at around $2,900 Canadian. The KitchenAid, the KF8, is going to be priced at around $2,500 Canadian. So there's a bit of a price difference there. Both these machines will also have a 2-year manufacturer warranty. So 2 years with Jura through Jura, 2 years with KitchenAid through KitchenAid. So very easy to remember. You would need to go through either manufacturer to access and utilize the warranty if anything were to go wrong. The machines will need very similar cleaning functions, but with Jura, you can't access the brew unit that's inside. With KitchenAid, you access the brew unit by just opening up the side flap and removing it. That brew unit would need to be rinsed usually every other week or once a month, just under some water and leaving it overnight to dry. To clean that in the Jura, you'll actually be running through a cleaning cycle using some cleaning tablets that do get provided with the machine, but you'll need to repurchase them going forward. Both machines will also need to be descaled at some point, but they will tell you when that needs to happen. They heat up extremely fast, very, very quick. Essentially, once you press the power button, they're going to rinse and then they're ready to go. So it's like 30 seconds in the morning. If you're worried about how they're going to fit on your countertop, we'll just put the dimensions of each machine here for you. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions about either of these machines, just drop them down below and we will answer them for you. If you're local to us or you live kind of close by, pop on in and we will give you a demo of these machines and you'll be able to taste the coffee as well. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. Subscribe to our channel if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing, and we will see you later.